This game mode has already been out for 2 days, and your boy has gone through 40 plus areas already. To say the least, I like the game mode a little bit. Not to mention it's the first real piece of content GS has gotten in years. But the game mode does come off confusing. Like, what do you mean I have a D rating in attack? And this even gets more confusing once you go into the workshop with all these different materials that are apparently able to craft some of the most broken equips in the entire game. So let me break down all of this for you, make it very digestible and very easy for you to understand exactly how this game mode works, so you're able to play it to the fullest and enjoy it. Whenever there's a new episode, you can access Grand Battle by clicking the Grand Crusade icon here. Or if you want to access it at any point in time, you can click the town icon, scroll all the way over, and you will see Workshop and Grand Crusade. Click Grand Crusade, it will open the Grand Crusade menu. These are some of the maps that you can tackle when you go to actually play the game, and this pretty much goes on infinitely. But if you click on any area here, you can see that there's going to be a few things before you even go into the area. You have how many chests are located on the map that you're about to go into, and then you have the drop info, which this really isn't important right now, but it will be later on once you start farming for higher tier materials. If you click fight and we go straight in, you will see that this is the map. Your map may not be foggy like this because it is currently night. Allied demons, dragons, and machines units damage and damage taken times 1.5. So we get a multiplier, but we also take a lot more damage if we're any of those races. You don't really need to know what every single one of these do, but just know that it is there. And now this is the grid right here. As you see, there are multiple little tiles. We have a chest right here, and then we have, if we scroll all the way over to the left, it is the boss, which is Vows and Death. If we click on the boss, it will tell us exactly what the boss is doing. And I know this is already a lot to take in. You're probably looking at this like, I'm already confused. Listen. Don't overcomplicate it. Take it one step at a time with me right now. You look at the top right, you're going to see the AP bar. The AP bar is going to go down by 1 if you move 1 tile. 1 AP was used when moving that tile, and I gained a resource. Every single time you move in the tile, you will gain some type of material for fusion crafting. You can usually always find more AP or AP pots by playing the game mode, opening treasure chests, or beating bosses. When you beat a boss, they refund you 10 AP. And if we click the auto advance right here, this will allow us to move through the entire map without us having to actually keep clicking on each individual tile. If you want to do that, you can, but absolutely you don't have to. If you do the auto advance, there's a few settings in here that you may want to know about. Standby when out of AP/stamina is a good one, because whenever your party is out of AP or out of stamina, auto will just sit there until your stamina or AP recovers. We'll talk about stamina in just a second. Select treasure en route is really good because it makes it to where the auto is going to seek out the treasure chest on this map. And this last option is make round trip, which this allows you to pretty much stay on the same stage the entire time if you don't want to advance in the areas. Each character in this game has 5 stamina. Every single unit has this. No one has more stamina than the other. Everybody has 5 stamina. The reason why these guys are only at 2 right now is because I've used them already. It's going to go down with each fight that you do. You'd be like, oh, well, that's really easy then, because I only see 1 enemy on this map. There's not multiple? Well, there is multiple. If you click auto advance, it's going to advance us, and we're going to start moving. As you see, it's auto advancing. We're gathering resources, and we got into a fight. Currently, it is set to we are getting a fight every 3 tiles that we move. Whenever we get into a battle, it's pretty much just a random ad fight that is somewhat of a mini boss. It's not really going to be too crazy, but these guys do start hitting extremely hard once you get to the higher floors. As you see, I'm on area 43, 44. Is that what we're on right now? 45 maybe? And we are taking tons of damage at the current moment. And as you see right there, we cleared it, and it will keep doing this until we run out of stamina. As you see, and oh, wait, what? What is this? After each fight you do, all of your party members will gain experience for each of the stats that they have. Sometimes they'll get a low roll, like as you see on Ilya, we have an 18 on her HP. But then sometimes you get a high roll. Look, her physical mitigation went up to plus 90. As you see with everyone else in the current area we're in, we're usually getting either a high roll of 90 or about a low roll of plus 18. Hoka, though, is getting more experience than everyone else since he is the leader. If you are the leader, you get a 50% bonus. And if you are set as the friend unit for yourself, you also get a 10% XP bonus. And as you see right here, this will show you the actual level of each individual stat. The only other way to get more bonus experience is that if you are the current character featured on a banner, that is specifically Grand Crusade specific, like how Azel is here, then you will get 100% more Regalia XP as well. These are the passives that I already have. My HP has been increased by 2500. I have more damage. I have passive damage mitigation, more break power, and I'm also getting HP regen and art gauge every 9.37 seconds. The higher this is, the better. Big number, big damage. Monkey brain happy, which this kind of promotes you needing to use one team / one unit for the entire time, right? But we only can do 5 battles. We're going to run out of stamina pretty quickly here. Well, you can use other characters. Let's say, for an example, you were using Summer Ilya this whole time, and then you were like, Summer Ilya is really not doing for me anymore. She's dying too much. I don't like her. You can click up here on the menu section and go over here to Siphon. We click on her. We chose our donor. Now, let's say that we click on Arstella Orbis right next to her. And now we have all of our stats right here. And we can choose to either transfer over all of our stats or specific stats if we want to, instead of just like transferring every single thing. We can also choose to only transfer half of our stats. As you see up here, we are transferring 75% of the stats onto another character. And you can see this because look, we're level 67 on our HP. If we transfer all, we're only level 59 with Arstella Orbis. So keep that in mind when you are transferring units. You are getting rid of all of the experience on the donor. It's not going to be an exact 1-to-1 when you are transferring. This mechanic is good when it comes to actually switching out units that you may thought that you didn't need, but now you're like, oh crap, I actually do need them. And this definitely saves you a lot of time when it comes to playing the game mode, because if you had to actually sit here and grind the tiles to be able to level up your character, you can imagine it'd get pretty annoying pretty quickly. This is going to be the final battle these guys can do right now. The stamina is going to be depleted after this, and we'll show you exactly what happens. You can see that there are timers at the bottom right now, but we are still moving on the map. The auto advance is going to still progress until we reach our next battle. Now we've entered standby. Since we can no longer progress, we are now just waiting here. As you see, cooldown ends in 29 minutes and 33 seconds, meaning that these characters will not be ready until that timer is expired. Well, are we just done with the game mode for the next 30 minutes? Technically no, but it also depends on if you can make another team. If you can make another team, then you can just keep going infinitely. This is how all of the veteran players are currently playing this game mode, is that we are using 5 different teams to be able to constantly progress through, since for the most part, whenever you use all 5 teams, by the time you go through all that, this team will be coming back. And then whenever this team is coming back, let's say you use this team after them, they're coming back after they just did their 5 battles. Then they can do it. Then they can do it. And as you see, you get into like a little rotation to where you can just constantly keep going. One thing I will say is that I highly recommend that you guys do set up some kind of auto AI as you're going through this map, so you don't have to play through each individual fight. It's very simple in how you can set it up. You don't even have to really learn auto AI for the most part. You can just click this little drop down menu right here, click on the AI set. We can click default AI, and they already have preset things you can do. Like for example, with Star God, let's say you only want to use her true art. We'll just click true art focus, and now she's going to be set to only use her true art, nothing else apart from her skill, of course, and her equips. If you want them to switch, you can use one of the presets here, or if you want to actually make your own, then you can go in here and tweak it to your liking. Of course, you don't have to do this. This is completely optional, but it will save you a lot of time. Now, I want to talk about a few more settings that you guys may not know about. If we go up here to menu, we click that and we click on map. This is going to show us the actual tile map instead of what we're seeing down below. If we want to, we can just click this, and this is going to take us exactly to the boss. We can click auto advance, and now we're advancing to the boss. But let's say we don't want to do that and we want to move up here to this chest. Then the only thing we will do is click on the chest, and now we're moving towards the chest. I would recommend that you guys skip out on collecting most treasures in the very beginning, but if you want to get some extra stamina pots and stuff, you can enable this, and there's a chance that you could wind up finding some large AP pots for the game mode. Other thing that we have is going to be the activity, and this is where you're able to set how many times you get a random encounter. You can do it to every 1 tile. This is going to really allow you to focus on leveling. 2 tiles if you want to, focus a little bit on leveling, but also make some progress. 3 is a very good medium. 4 is like, I'm just trying to get out of this area to move on to other areas. And 5, the same thing. And finally, if we want to go back to the Grand Crusade screen, we just click Grand Crusade title, and this takes us back to the very first thing that we started on. Here is where you're going to be able to set your support unit, and you see it's going to pop up your unit right here. You can change all of your equips, and you can change the actual unit right here. Now, friend units cannot be used during like the regular gameplay of Grand Crusade, but they can be used whenever you go fight the EX boss. The EX boss will be in every episode apart from episode 1, and they are just a very souped up boss. And just how it was in the regular game mode, if we click boss info here, we can see all of those stats, from the HP that they have to what they resist, what they don't resist, to exactly what they do, plus everything that they drop down here. And if we click on EX3, you can see we go straight into it, and we can choose to either use a support unit or click no support unit, and we can just use our regular team. If we use a support unit, then our 4th unit would be replaced with whatever support unit we would select. Now, the reason that I was using Relic Vulcans on my character here and not using like an Archgen equip or something else is because if we click the helped icon right here, here is a art gauge rule. This applies to every EX boss. Skills, equips, and abilities will not fill art gauge, and battle ether will not appear. Instead, it will fill from regalia effects and when taking damage. So that's the reason that we are running Relic Vulcans on our shadow, is because people that are doing this, if they want to Archgen for themselves, you can inflict a burn on you since you're going to be taking damage from burn. If we use Silent Treasure or anything that is consuming our HP, we will get art gauge. Look at this. Boom, we got art gauge because we consumed our HP and we technically took damage. We can reset that and do it again. So anything that is consuming your HP does count as you taking damage in this game mode. Of course, though, if you don't have those, using stuff that inflicts you with a status effect is also really good, like burn and poison. Whew, that was a lot, right? Just a few more things before we start talking about fusion crafting. If you go up here to the menu and we click on GC items, you will see that we have all the different GC items. We have the AP pots, which of course act as stamina potions specifically for this game mode. We have the stamina drinks, which allows us to fully restore all unit stamina. By the way, whenever it says all units, it truly means all units. Every single character in your party/box will have their stamina restored by just using one of these, and it's going to show you every single character it's going to restore when you go to use this. I've built up quite a bit, and you can definitely save a lot of these, but these can only be used in episode 2, so you can be a little bit crazy with them if you want to. You also have the stamina drink, which allows us to restore a unit stamina in episode 2. And then finally we have this, which is the quick stone, which this is going to allow us to restore a unit stamina. It's also going to level up their CT speed by 1. And that CT speed, by the way, is leveling up this right here. Not anything on the regalia, but this level right here. So this gets them off a cooldown faster. Highly recommend that you do this. You know, use this stuff on like your Shiro Emiyas and stuff, right? If you want to use that guy against like multiple different fights, make sure you use it on them. Or if you really only want to use like one team, throw these quick stones at those characters. All the levels that I have gained so far are just in this episode. If we go over to episode 1, we don't have any regalia level over here. Look at this. Everything is G level. The levels are tied to each episode. So when a new episode comes out, let's say when the eventual episode 3 drops, you will have to grind all your levels back up to whatever they were, because you're going to be starting all the way back from area 1, but it's going to be in a completely new episode with more rewards and more stuff to get. And those rewards, where can we get them, right? Well, for one, you have the exchange shop, which is going to be giving you materials for not only just fusion crafting, as you see right here, but it will also be giving you, of course, the LB stones and everything else that you can expect from a regular shop, including AP pots for the game mode and super stamina drinks. We can also click the records right here, which is going to be pertain to each episode. As you see up here, it says episode 2. And if we click claim rewards, you can see right here all of these different rewards that we can get. And this keeps going up as you go through all of this. The more stuff that you do in the game mode, the more rewards you get. From stamina pots to fusion craft materials to expert LB stones, the limit break stones, to anything you can possibly imagine, it is in here. The only thing that we do not get from this game mode are crystals. Even though that does sound like pretty bad, to be honest, it's really not. You're getting so many other items, summoner orbs, LB stone, everything else, that allows you to get like such an influx of mats to where it kind of counterbalances it to an extent. Yeah, we don't get crystals, but we get like tons of rewards for everything else. So there's that. Maybe eventually they'll change it to where once you clear an episode's story chapter, you will get crystals, but for now, we do not get crystals no matter what when doing this game mode. In order to get to the Fusion Craft area, we can access it by going into an area that we are currently in, clicking the menu screen and clicking Fusion. We can also go back to the home page, click on town, scroll over 3 times, and click on the workshop, which will take us to the fusion crafting screen. And this is the new crafting system that has been introduced. Up here are our talent levels. Our talent levels will increase every time we make an equip of that type. Orange right here is going to be our physical, magic's going to be purple, defense is going to be blue, heal is green, support is yellow. Now, why do we need these levels to be increased? The higher this talent level is, better equips that you will get. So yes, it is very worth it to level up these talents. Now, how do you do that? You do it by just making equips. So if we click Start Fusion, you see we have Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, and Tier 6. And if we click on any of these tiers, like for example, the first one here that just has low tier stuff, and we click OK, we can now see we have these tubes. These colors represent the equipment that is possible when rolling with certain materials. So the first one is going to be, of course, physical with a little bit of defense. The second one is going to be magic with a little bit of heal. The third one is going to be heal with a little bit of magic. And the final one is going to be support with a little bit of defense. You can really mess around with these. You can use any number of combination, as you see right here. You know, we can just put one of each in, and look, we have something like that going if you want to try to get a little bit of everything. But if we're trying to focus on getting a singular equip, then you want to make sure that you are using the correct material that is going to give you the highest chance of getting whatever you're going for. Like if we really want a physical equip, we only want to use this first one here. But since there is a little bit of defense, it pretty much means that we have a chance to either get a physical equip or a defense equip. And if we actually fuse with this, if we click just begin, it's going to be very simple. We're going to click begin. Look, we're going to get this little animation right here. We had it mainly inclined to physical, and we got a defense item. What did I tell you guys? I swear it's rigged. But look, since we got that defense item, our XP did go up just a tiny bit. It won't go up that much because the XP gain you get is based off of the star level of the equip. It still is useful to craft these first few 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star equips though, because it is going to level up this talent level, and as we mentioned before, you're going to want this talent level to be as high as possible. Once we're on this screen though, there's a few things to take note of. If we go to salvage, we can instantly dismantle and salvage the equip. This will level up our salvage talent level and will also get rid of it. And you may be like, wait, OP, what? Get rid of it? Yeah. If we go back and we go over here to the fusion equips down here in the bottom right, you can see that we have 4 little slots right here. We can only own 4 equips from this game mode because the equips become completely broken, and if we could own all of them, you best believe everyone would be farming for like 3 or 4 copies of some of the best equips from this game mode. Which means that if you get a crappy equip like this, of course you don't want to keep it and allow it to use up your slot, so you can click on it and click salvage to instantly get rid of it. Or let's say that you really like this equip, but you think it's only going to be good on a singular unit. Well, you could click on it and click specialize. Think of this as almost like you're turning it into a true weapon, but it's a very restrictive true weapon. Like this thing has a very tight grip on whatever unit it has. When you specialize and equip, it can only be used on the unit you specialized it for. So as you see in the picture, they specialized it on BF Mira. This means that BF Mirror will be the only unit that can use this equip. However, once you do specialize it, and you can specialize it for any character that meets any of these criteria down here, it doesn't have to be all of them, just one of the criteria, and you will be able to make a specialized equip. You're going to be able to actually tweak its stats. So let's go over to like one of my Ascended characters that I could use this on, like Uzu for an example, and look, I can choose to make this either have more attack, I can choose to make it have more HP, more defense, whatever I want to do. By default, fusion equips do not have stats. Keep that in mind. They do not have stats unless you give them stats through specializing or another method, which I'll show you in just a second. And if we did this, we would instantly specialize it for Uzu. I'm not going to do it because I don't want Uzu to have that equip. And I don't want to waste like a specialize on that, but that is something you can do. If you get an equip and you're like, I'm only going to use this for one character, you can specialize it. And once you do specialize it, it will no longer be counted as one of the equips that are taking up a slot here. But as you see, if we click salvage, this is going to get rid of it. This is going to give us some of the materials that we used on it. As you see right there, we got 2 back, and it will also level up our salvage level. Whenever we salvage though, it doesn't show us the XP bar for salvage, but just know it's going to be constantly leveling up, and most of the time it's going to be the highest level that you have. Now, if you want to make better equips, you have to get to crafting equips. The more equips you craft, the higher this talent level becomes. Once one talent level reaches 108, it doesn't matter if it's physical, magic, defense, heal, or support. When any of these levels hit 108, you will be able to craft tier 6 equips. And some of those tier 6 equips are absolutely broken. The only talent level that this does not apply to will be salvage. Now you may be like, OP, but is there a way to like determine what equip you're going to be getting, or is there a way to like really focus in on a certain equip? Technically there is. If we go into Start Fusion and we'll just go into, let's say, like the tier 5 stuff here, and I don't have any here, but you know, we could use this as an example. If you click Unique Mystica, you can see down here we have all of this stuff, and we're able to select 2. Unique Mystica are consumable items specifically for fusion crafting. These right here allow you to craft very specific equipment. We refer to these as unique equips in the community. That pretty much means that in order to craft these equips, you need to use this Mystica in order to even get the chance of it being in your pool. If you want to craft a vulture cap, you have to click on this. Now you have a chance to get a vulture cap, which is a magic equip. And then you want to make sure that you really get it, then you can use this Mystica Rune L, and now you have a pretty good chance of getting it. If we go here, look at that. That's before we've added any Mystica to the actual pot here. We are already heavily favored to get this equip. You can't do this for every equip that's in here. I will say there are some equips that you just are going to have to roll randomly and pray you get lucky. But that is something that you can do, is stuff like that to really increase the chance of getting the equip that you want. Another thing that you can do is that you see down here we have Crest Fragment. You remember before how I told you that these equips do not have stats on them unless you put stats onto the equips. What this allows you to do is that any crest that you have, you can use to be able to give whatever equip that you're about to make a passive. And this includes any single crest effect that you see here. If you want to give arc gauge up for an equip, let's say for an example, you go and you make like a crazy magic equip, right? I want that equip to have arc gauge up, just so whatever unit I put it on, they instantly get 20 arts. Well, you can click on this arc gauge up level 3. It's going to use 3 fragments, and if you get lucky, because it is still chance by the way, you are going to be able to obtain arc gauge up level 3 as a passive on whatever equip you craft. We set everything we want. We click the crest fragment. Why not do HP up, right? Let's just say I want HP up on this equip. We're going to do HP up, and we can craft like this. Now, if we want to, we can also go down here to Unique Mystica, and we can make it to where we use a stable drop. This guarantees that we get the crest effect on our equip. We're just going to try it right here just to see if we are able to get it. This is a 1-star equip. Maybe we can get a crest effect on it. Maybe not. Let's see if we got lucky. And we did not get lucky. As you see down here, we have no ability for it. These are some of the equips that you can make right now in Grand Battle. This is a Google Doc that I will have linked down below in the comments section for all you guys to check out. As you see here, we have stuff like the physical dead red saw that gives us anywhere from 40 to 54 second cooldown, anywhere from a 3k to a 4k modifier on it. We have 104% as the lowest and 118% as the maximum. Ladies and gentlemen, you throw this on a Delta, you throw this on a Sunraku, any fire unit in the game, and you're able to stack fire damage on them consistently and have them hit exponentially harder than they've ever could. We have the magic equip right here, which is the vulture cap, by the way, that allows us to stack dark damage on our characters. If you want to see all of them, you can come down here and look. We have all of these equips. These are every single equip that you can fuse right now in Grand Battle. This is from my friend Brian. You guys know him. You know, he's been on the channel before. He has the vulture cap on his FM Haruto. He decided to go take it up against the free practice and see how hard he can hit. FM Haruto is hitting for 1 billion damage with minimal effort. He got 1.1 billion damage on FM Haruto. So yes, equipment from this game mode are insanely powerful. And if you want to know the entire list, I highly recommend that you go down below and check out the comment section so you can see it. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You now know everything there is to know about the brand new Grand Crusade. You're going to be hearing a lot of people refer to this game mode as Grand Battle or Grand Crusade. They mean the exact same thing when they're talking about it. Grand Battle was the Japanese name for this game mode. Grand Crusade is the localization the global team went for. Either way though, they're referring to this game mode, and you now understand how to play it and go through it as best as possible. The final thing that I want to say is that Grand Crusade is the new permanent game mode in GS. So if you can't really get too far in Grand Crusade, don't worry about it right now. It's not a big deal. You can always farm it and always go play it because it's going to constantly be here. And this is just the first part of Grand Crusade. We'll probably be having episode 3 come out in the next few months, and then eventually episode 4, which JP is getting in like 3 days, the time we're recording this video. So ladies and gentlemen, tell me down below what you all think about Grand Crusade. Are there any other things that you guys are curious about when it comes to the game mode? Are you still confused on certain things? Let me know that stuff down below and I'll try to help you as best I can. I know this was probably a very long-winded video, but I'm sorry, there's so much information when it comes to this game mode that hopefully it can be less than 20 minutes, but it's probably gonna be about a 30-minute video. I highly recommend that you check out this video right here. This is my first impressions, the first run I ever did on Grand Crusade, going through it and just experiencing it for the first time. If you want to see that, I'll meet you over there. Oh, one more thing before you leave though, don't forget to drink water.